Howdy, howdy, howdy. How's it going today? I'm good, thanks. Coming to you today with two market reports. One, we're going to do the interest rate market report, which is super exciting for a change. And then I'm going to bring you the real estate market report for Northeast Wyoming. So I'm going to bring you the interest rate market report first because that has some exciting news to shed. And then lastly, I'll do the market report, the real estate market report. So anyway, let's jump into that. Today is November 29th, 2023. And thanks for joining me here today, by the way. Everything I'm about to disclose to you here is based on a 30-year rate, 30-year term. These interest rates are based on purchases, not refinances. Wyoming Community Development Authority, the rates are ranging this week between 6.25 and 8.125. I haven't said, well, I've said 6 before for WCDA, but they did come up here recently. Their last bond probably ran out, and they're working on a new bond here. So because before we were able to operate some of these loans in the 5 to 6 range. Throughout 2023, but here recently that's actually gone up. VA mortgage interest rates are between 6.8 and 6.9. FHA mortgage interest rates between 5.625 and 6.75%. Now, that's a surprise. I haven't got to say that in a long time this year. I have to go back through the records and see, but maybe even last year since we talked about that. USDA rural development, the mortgage interest rates are ranging in between 6.25 and 6.75. And on conventional mortgages, this week the interest rate is varying between 6.25 and 6.75. So you can see on a good lot of these mortgages, the interest rates have tightened up in that 6% range. Super exciting for the market, super exciting for our buyers. And probably even going to be our sellers as this information kind of catches up in the marketplace. I'm bringing this to you pretty quick. It'll be a little bit before we see the whiplash effect of this in the real estate market. Now remember, this is not an offer of credit. It's just a general illustration of different mortgages and mortgage types and their terms and concepts. I am your realtor, not your mortgage lender. So if we need to get you set up with a mortgage lender and start moving through that way if you're a buyer. These mortgage interest rates can vary depending on your credit history, rate lock agreements, and payment amounts, and many other factors affecting buyers. And this does not include discount points, obviously. So anyway, that was the exciting news for this week that I'm going to share with you. Coming up next, we're going to do the real estate market report as far as market activity goes. So for the month of November, the number of active homes, or as of today actually, not just for the month of November, but as of today, the number of active homes for sale in Northeast Wyoming is 172 homes. The number of pending home sales is 61. And the number of homes that have successfully sold in the previous 6 months is 479 properties, with only a foreclosure rate of 4%. So we're still pretty healthy in that department. An absorption rate of 2.5 months, basically. That's super solid. And the average days on market has crept up to 88 days on market. So we haven't seen that in a little bit, but that has crept up, but it's still relatively healthy. The median sold price is $273,125 with an average sale to list ratio of 94%. Now this is one that's kind of got my eye caught here. We're seeing a slide here in the buyer's favor, meaning buyers and sellers right now are negotiating more than we've seen in probably the last 3 years. So this will be something to keep an eye on moving forward. At 94%, I would say this is definitely moving into the buyer's favor. Obviously, the last 6 to 8 months of interest rate climbs and hikes have played an influence into this and affordability. Economic trends for the area. driving the real estate market are as follows. The oil field, I would say, is still stable. Interesting fun fact here, though, we're sitting at 17 rigs this week. That has fell by 7 rigs in the past 12 months. So on a percentage scale, that's I would say that's worth consideration. And as we move into 2024, again, worth keeping an eye on to see if that starts to have an influence on a real estate market. Natural gas prices remain strong, thus providing support to both the gas and coal industries. There's still a pent-up demand for housing from buyers. This is across all generations, from first-time home buyers to all retired families, basically, or retired individuals. The decentralization of metropolitan USA, or the inner city, with people choosing to move toward rural USA and seeking personal safety, personal asylum, health safety, and security, and improving their lifestyles, as we all very well know in Wyoming, is still playing an influence. Lastly, new home construction is still lagging behind a little bit. I expect for that to somewhat start catching up here in 2024, but that is to be determined as well. Therefore, in the end of this, I'm going to step out and say for the first time this year, our real estate market is heading towards a neutral market. Up until this point, it's been a seller's market all day by any definition that we look at. Now all of a sudden we're starting to see key things that may be pushing us into a neutral market. But here's the but. The interest rates that I just shared with you a few seconds ago are definitely going to play an influence on that, all of which we predict may add to the speed of the real estate market again, and we'll start seeing buyers get back into the real estate market that we haven't seen for a few months, thus driving the market back up. So can't speak for prices yet, but we know activity if interest rates stay down or continue to kind of lessen a little bit, we're definitely going to see prices level out. If not go up a little bit, we're going to see this activity go back up, and we're going to see sellers not negotiating as much again. But it'll take 4 to 6 weeks for some of that to kind of catch up with itself. So anyway, information for this report was obtained from the Northeast Wyoming Multiple List Service, and of course my personal experience working within the field. For more specific market information on your area, your subdivision, or something that's more specific to you, drop a comment, leave a note, text, call, whatever you got to do, and get a hold of us, and we will dive into what your property could be worth. Or if you're a buyer, we need to see what a property is worth that you're interested in and what that means for you moving into that purchase. Be sure to stay tuned to the page, subscribe, like, get the notifications, do whatever, and we'll catch you on the next market report. The next one coming up in January, we're going to shed a few predictions moving into the entire 2024 market. So that one will be a really good one to tune into. So thanks, and make it a great day.